I'm out having lunch by myself, and I went by Lowe's Food, and they sell sushi. I about died. I'm like so excited. This is so good. It actually has like smoked salmon, some tuna, and some avocado, and some rice. Doesn't it just look beautiful? Yummy. This is the best Lowe's Food in the area out in Robin Hood Road. So wonderful. They have chicken on side dishes and sushi and all kinds of stuff. And what's even good about Lowe's Food here is that they sell chocolates and coffee. And I have found several pumpkin sections that are, oh my goodness, like if I didn't have somewhere else to go, I would totally get that pumpkin ice cream because it just looks good. But it's a little too much for me to eat all in one sitting because it's like a pint. I can't eat a whole pint. It's like a whole pint. It's crazy. So what I've decided to do is come back and get me some more. But yeah, really good. They have coffee. Right now, I'll show you. I'm in this little barn section. It's like this little hideaway place. It's like a little hideaway place where you can actually eat and enjoy your meal. So that's what I decided to do. I was out driving around, took a lunch break. Where's my glasses? Woo! Took a lunch break and got me some sushi. And it was only like $6.99, and you could see the rating on the side, so you knew that their rating was it was like a 99, which is really good. And I got me some sushi, and yeah, been enjoying it ever since. So enjoy the video. Welcome to Book and Candle. Today I'm going to show you my 5 all-time favorite fall smoothie recipes. Now any of these recipes I show you, you can definitely add more ice, or you can add more milk, or some of the almond milk that I put into it to give it more of a creamy milkshake mixture. It's definitely easy to make. It only requires a few ingredients each, and each one of these smoothies has a hidden benefit, especially the green one I'm going to show you has some kale in it. You wouldn't think that a smoothie that tastes like apple pie would have kale in it. So stay tuned and I'll definitely show you my favorite recipes. Now before we get started, just click that little subscribe button. It's there on the bottom. It's the big red button. Yes, it says subscribe on it. Yeah, make sure to click that because that would definitely keep you in tune with an upcoming video. One of my subscribers had actually mentioned to me that she really wanted for me to do like a YouTube video on what my buttermilk pancake recipe is. So just stay tuned with that. That way you can, so whenever you click the subscribe button, it'll help you stay tuned with that. And if you have any comments, just leave them below and let me know if there's any recipes you would like to know. I'm really big on smoothies, so if you'd like some more tropical smoothies, even though it's fall, I can definitely do some YouTube videos for you on some of my favorite fall and regular smoothies. So it just depends on what you want. But yeah, leave a comment below, let me know, click that subscribe button, and let's get to making smoothies. Okay, so we're gonna make our first smoothie. First thing I put, and which you will find later is the staple of all these smoothies, is bananas. Of course, I froze my bananas, which would give it more of a cold consistency, more of a cold temperature rather. And then after that, I did rolled oats. So I don't use like instant oatmeal or regular oatmeal. Rolled oats is better for this recipe. You don't taste all the graininess. And then I used pure extract, vanilla extract. You can use the vanilla bean if you want to. It'll definitely give it a richer vanilla flavor if that's what you want. But I kind of wanted to stick to the basics, so I just used the pure vanilla extract. And then with this particular recipe, I used chia seeds. And chia seeds are really good. You can sprinkle them in almost everything. pretty much everything. They don't really have a flavor, but they are so healthy for you. They have so many benefits. And then even though I froze my banana, I did put in ice, and I wanted it to be a little more milkshake-like, but still keeping that smoothie consistency. So that's why I went ahead and put ice in it. Anytime you're making a smoothie, the more ice you put, the thicker it becomes, which is one reason why when you go get a milkshake out at restaurants, for an example, cookouts, theirs is really, really thick. That's because they use a lot of ice to keep it cold, and that's what makes it really thick. But anyway, yeah, that was the first recipe. The second recipe has basic ingredients, has the almond milk, which I'm a fan of. I like the Silk brand. It also has the frozen bananas, and then I got chopped up some apples and froze them as well to keep with that cold consistency. And the powder that I chose was actually, it was a Melaleuca brand protein powder, but this particular powder was apple cinnamon flavor. So there's a lot of proteins out there that actually have a flavor to them, from vanilla to chocolate to blueberry to strawberry to apple cinnamon to pumpkin to whatever. So to make this apple cinnamon one, I chose the apple cinnamon protein. It gave it a little extra flavor, but it also kept with the nutritional protein that I needed in my smoothie. And then I also had the regular seasonings, or rather spices, that I use, which most of these recipes, the three main spices is going to be cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves. Those are like the three that I do. Now, if you want an added benefit, you can't really taste it as much, but you can put some turmeric in there, and the turmeric will actually help with a weight loss. So if you wanted to put that in there as well, that is an added benefit. That's kind of a hidden secret you can throw in there as well. By the way, you will notice some of these stripedy type straws. I get those at Hobby Lobby. Those are my favorite. You can get a whole pack for only a couple dollars, and they're really nice. Now, this particular smoothie is the apple pie smoothie, which is very, very good. It tastes like a baked apple pie. It really does. And what's funny is I put kale in it. So this particular smoothie has the regular apples and, the banana, and it has all the other little ingredients and the oatmeal and all that kind of stuff. But what makes it very interesting is that I put kale in it, which makes it very good. Now, you cannot taste the kale at all. And a lot of people would substitute, blah, blah, blah. It's like, blah. Anyway, some people would substitute the kale with spinach. Now, you would think that you would be tasting this flavor. You actually don't taste the kale and spinach, so it's like an added benefit in your smoothies. Instead, you taste apple pie. For some reason, it's just the kale just ends up becoming kind of non-existent in there, but yet you still get that added benefit. Now, this particular smoothie was made last when I made my lineup of smoothies, but it ended up making its way to the middle. And the reason why I used water was just because I ran out of almond milk. So I kind of had to substitute with water. I would recommend almond milk. It would definitely give it more of a rich flavor. Water tends to water it down a bit and kind of takes away from the richness of it and gives it more of a watery taste. So then you're having to substitute all of the spices and everything that you've put in there originally with the water, because water definitely waters it down for sure. So I would suggest putting in almond milk or regular milk if you don't have almond milk. That would be better than water, but for the sake of time, I used water. It still tastes good. It's just a little more watery. But here you go. Here is the apple pie green smoothie. It will definitely trick everybody. They'll be like, oh my gosh, this is one of those green smoothies. I'm going to hate it. And then they taste it. It tastes like apple pie. I mean, why not? This one right here is definitely the substance is going to be the staple, really, is going to be the banana. And I freeze all my fruit because it's almost like whenever you put ice in there, if you don't want that watered effect again, but you still want it cold, freeze your fruit and your veggies and stuff before you put them in, and that way you can use that instead of ice. I then put in pure vanilla. Sometimes I do the bean like I mentioned earlier, but yeah. And then for the protein powder, this one is Melaleuca as well, except it's just the plain vanilla flavor. I didn't want to put any apple cinnamon or anything in it because I wanted to remain true to the ingredients that I was putting in here originally. So I grabbed my vanilla protein, and then I put ice in here because I wanted it to be a little bit thicker. And then of course I used my regular 3 spices, the cloves, the cinnamon, and nutmeg. And then one of these recipes has ginger in it, which is really, really good for you as well. And as I said before, you can put turmeric in there, and that will help also with if you wanted to kind of help along the weight loss and your metabolism. Turmeric is very, very good for that. And here you go, a beautiful jar full of wonderful fall smoothie. Yum. I believe this particular smoothie was my mother's favorite. This next smoothie has quite a few ingredients to it. As you can kind of see, the theme of all my smoothies have roughly the same ingredients. There's only a few that are kind of wackadoo where you've got oatmeal or kale in there. But most of them, if you keep to the same style and then just throw in different seasonings. For an example, you could throw in the pumpkin pie spice seasoning. If you threw that into one of your regular, like your vanilla chais or whatnot, you'll definitely get that pumpkin flavor without it being too overwhelming if you don't like the actual taste and consistency of pumpkin. But this one right here for pumpkin pie, I love it to death. I used canned pumpkin, but you can use real pumpkin as well. Real pumpkin's got a better flavor than the can does. But for sake of time, I used canned pumpkin. And this particular recipe, if you follow it to a T, what I did in this recipe for the smoothie, you'll find that the consistency is almost like an uncooked pumpkin pie. I've always loved dipping my spoon when I'm making a pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving or for the fall harvest time. I like to dip my spoon and knives into the pumpkin pie filling and enjoy it a little bit before I bake it. That's kind of what this consistency is. If you want it to be a little bit more smoothie, I would suggest adding more almond milk until you get that consistency and it's not as much of a batter type of a flavor or consistency. It'll be more of a smoothie. And then if you wanted to break it up even more and turn it more into a milkshake, that's when you add a little bit more of the almond milk, and then you would add some of the ice, and that would bring it to it's almost like a Wendy's Frosty type of thing, except pumpkin flavored. But this one is really good. It definitely, for sure, tastes identical to pumpkin pie filling. And it's really good. And this is one of those recipes, too, where you can sneak in some spinach and some kale. There's no problem with it. You're not going to taste it. And it's going to be really, really good for you. But these are just kind of some fun smoothies that you can do for the fall. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. And don't forget to subscribe. Bye!